Hi, and welcome to Cockatude, Cockatoos with attitude. Do you have any attitude there? No, not even asking to get petted yet. Babalu, you have any attitude? No, you're not going to eat my pocket. Nope. Saw that look. I saw it. You don't have any wood down there. No, no. That's one little piece of wood. What are you doing? Hi, boy. That's a good bird. You getting walked over there, Bob? Oh, Bob, you can preen Cecil. Come on. No preening of the Cecil yet? Oh, that figures. Jazzy Jazzbird. Pip, pip, pip. Pip, pip, pip. Jazzy Jazzbird. Hey, Jasmine. KK, where did KK go? There he is. Hey, KK. I better put on my focus for online meeting, or we'll end up with 100 messages. Hey, what are you doing? It's not backbiting, is it? No, it's preening. No, I know there's two people watching. Hi. Hello, Bob. You want to say something to the two people watching? Huh? Hmm? Oh, yeah, well, nothing to what it's going to be this weekend, but yeah, it's supposed to get to 103 today. I think it's going to beat that. It's 99 outside right now. So, it's supposed to get to 116 Fahrenheit this week. Ouch! Easy there, buddy. Easy. You can grab my finger, but be careful. Huh? Oh, that's a good boy. That's a good boy. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's we're under the fire watch because we have wind and heat. So I got the weeds when it was still in spring, so that helps a little bit, doesn't it? Doesn't it, Cecil? Cecil, Cecil. Sea salt. He says, "No, it's Cecil. It's Cecil the bird." Hello, Falcon Sue. Ah, Cecil. Let me move myself around a little bit here. There we go. Got to be comfortable as possible with Bob putting things under me that stick. Bob. Yeah, I once we're out of here at the end of the day, I turned the air conditioning vent off, and I forgot this morning. I got in here at 11, and said, "Whoa, it's warm in here." I had to turn on the one in the bathroom and the one in here, and get a fan circulating the air. Right, Cecil? Sea salt, sea salt, sea salt. Yeah, we're looking at a hot weekend. I was talking to someone else who lives here, and they were saying that this time of year you really don't want to go over that mountain to Vegas because when it gets to be 100 and over 110, you don't know if your tires will make it. So, and apparently somebody stole the spare tire from underneath the van. Not here. That must have happened in California, but I need to get a new spare tire too. So, as soon as possible. Right, little girl? Lucy. I don't think he was bothering you. Why did you get off your... She loves that swing. Lucy. I don't think he did anything to you. Oh, maybe he is. Look at that look. You kind of look like a vampire up there. Snowball, Snowbird. Yeah, Amy's sick, so I'm not sure if Eleanor will be here to moderate. She might even be in there. I can't see that kind of thing. Um, there we go. Yeah, that's. I should get a patch plug kit. Yes, I definitely have that. The only problem is, of course, if it's on the if it blows out around the rim, that doesn't help. But yeah, yeah. Believe it or not, I have a light duty mechanics license or a certification from the regional occupational program in California. So yeah, I've done plenty of plugs. Actually, it was kind of fun when I was getting my certification. There was doing a brake job, and we had this big. Where are you going, big boy? Big boy. We had this big automotive center, and they had all these vents where you in the flooring in the cement where you can hook up hoses so you wouldn't die from carbon monoxide. And so I'm doing this brake job, and this spring gets away from me, boing, and you're doing the rear brakes, that can happen. And it goes up in the air at like 12 feet, 15 feet, and comes down and goes smack down the middle of one of those vents. The little things that can happen if you don't have the automotive uh, uh, building behind you with all the little things you need, you can get in trouble if you're working on something like that. But I just ran and grabbed another spring, and it was funny because everybody stopped and watched that spring. It just went wee, gone. Hello, Amy. Ah, nice, nice to see you in here. Sorry you're not feeling well. Hey, GTH. Been using a lot of things that like wire, and I find myself digging into some of the things that I've gotten special packages to fix things around here. Like, oh, I've got something that'll fix that. Oh, I've got something I can wire that with. Like Bob in his water bottle that he likes to play with. It's got so much wire to hold it in place. These are the ones that have the brackets, though, the Lixas with the brackets. So he's just trying to break the bracket off. So far, he hasn't managed to hurt the bottle. Yeah, another birdaholic. Another birdaholic. Are you a birdaholic? Because I'm a bird. I'm a bird. I'm a Cecil bird. You eat my finger, Cecil? No, not very tasty, is it? No, not very tasty for a Cecil. Bob's busy making it, so I have to basically have to sit on a bed of nails. If I have to get up and I come back, he always manages to get one in there that just stabs me. Don't you, Bob? Hey, Aaron. Oh, I used to eat chicken soup, but it has the same kind of feel to me. It's like, I don't know. It's like eating uh, a friend or something because I hang around with birds and I just can't eat bird. But there's a number of companies making fake stuff now that actually tastes real. So, what did you say? Now, she hasn't been doing much of that, but it does the occasional sneeze outside. In here, it's a little worse because they're all out, even though they're not moving around. When they first get in here, they put up a lot of dust in the air. Takes a while for the. Oh, thanks, Aaron. Yeah. Well, I kind of look at it like somebody says, well, when they say eating chicken is like somebody saying, "Well, what what breed of dog do you eat?" I don't eat dog, okay? So I don't eat bird. To be honest, I never cared that much for it anyway. The Mostly what I liked was when they really did something like fried chicken or something like that. It wasn't the chicken I liked. It was the crust on the outside of it that made all the flavor. So that's like the corn dogs, you know. It's not really the who knows what's in the hot dog anyway, but it's not the hot dog you like. It's the corn around it. Is that right over there? Does somebody agree with me? Who was that? Well, it wasn't KK. He's hiding in the box. What? Oh, was it you? I bet it was you. That's one of your sounds too. Hey, Snowball. Snowball. Hi. Well, that's a Pippa. That's a Pip over there. But I would say hello, Snowball. Hello, Snowball. He certainly likes his new 506 King. Well, it's not new, but his donated 506 King's cage. It's in pretty good condition. So, I mean, it doesn't have any, the powder coating is still good on it, even though it was sitting outside. You're going to sneeze for everybody now? Are you? It's, I've had to do a lot as far as mitigating the dust. People think your house is dusty when you have one, try having 12. Um, I have to change the, the carbon filter in those every other day. And then so about once every 2 weeks, I have to spray them outside. I have to take a leaf blower and blow out the dust in them, and then go through that again. And then when they stay gray after you do it, if they have a really gray sheen to them, that means they're dead. And you have to throw them away and order more. So, and every 2 weeks, I blow out the HEPA portion too, so you can, that's what gets by the carbon filter. And those have 3 filters on them. They're good units, but so for Pippa, in order to stop her sneezing, it takes the HEPA filters, it takes the whole house, whole building. It does 2,000 square feet humidifier. It's an ultrasonic with UV, so the water has to go through a UV light before it comes out. It does make their room at night a little bit bright. I'm sure they can see UV, so they can see how bright it is in there. But you going to sleep now too? Mm, big boy. Plain water. That doesn't sound like much of a diet. Ugh. Well, it sounds like you'll have to go on broth too. Once you can start tolerating something, I would try. Oh, thank you, Bob. That's just what I needed. Ugh. Time to get out the new roll of paper. Hold on, guys. It's going to go dark for a second while I get out some paper. Bob, that's not like you, actually, to go on me. What are you doing here? Sorry, I got pooped on. Pet, pet. I was also flushing her nares, and if she starts sneezing too badly later today, I will do that. It just means she gets too much dust in here. They don't do well with their own dust either, so it's a problem. KK, what are you doing down there? AK's a good bird. He came over yesterday and he was sitting with with Lorelei and Jasmine, and then he sat a little bit with Lorelei and Pippa. Romeo came out last night directly onto my hand, which that's the second time he's done that. He used to come up just to my leg. I had to put a chair right up next to his cage. Come up next to my leg, and then he would slowly get into my lap, and then slowly on my hand. Well, the last two nights he's just come down and got right on my hand, so that's going well. Now if I could just get Mander to come out. Jasmine, hello, Jasmine, Jazzy Jazzbird, hello. You napping? You napping over there, Jazzy? Back to sleep. You need to stick to the head area. He can do his own wings, silly. Well, he can, you big silly monster. He can. KK's busy, but you can't see him. He's in the box. Again, this is not something you want to normally do with a cockatoo, unless you're trained and you can figure out what the function is. If they're doing it to nest and they're becoming highly territorial, you're going to have a problem. I'm not having that problem, but if he starts to get territorial in that area and he goes after another bird, then the box goes away. But right now, he's just playing. Aren't you, KK? Just playing? Hard to see you. I can see you, but I'm not sure how much the camera's picking you up. It's too bad you can't zoom. Oh, I feel like an idiot. I tried to zoom, which you can't do, but I thought, well, I'll try it and see if it works. And if I do that, I can bring up the old messages. That's interesting. Well, I haven't had any coffee for a long time now, so it's been probably about a month. It wasn't doing nice things to me, so it had to go. It was part of the reason I was getting vertigo, is didn't have enough liquid in my system. I was dehydrating, so there's that big boy. There's that big KK bird. Camera is blurry. Well, I can try cleaning the lens. Looks okay on this end, though, but KK, KK. Might also be because I'm not doing this through Zoom, and when we use Zoom, I can't see messages, but I think we get a little bit better video. There's other platforms I could use too, but when you look at them, they end up being kind of expensive, and it's not like we have a lot of money. Right, Bob? Bob's doing something. What are you doing down there? Hup. Yep, he's making more toothpicks. There's an AI specialist who was talking. He wrote a whole thing about what happens if you have an AI, and the AI does nothing but makes toothpicks, and then suddenly it thinks that that's what we should do. Just make a whole bunch of toothpicks, and the whole world turns into toothpicks. Bob, are you an AI? No, just an intelligence, huh? Not an artificial one. Well, I've cleaned the lens. I'll try it again, but I have cleaned the lens, and it looks okay on my end. So, as I say, I'm using the YouTube app. I'm not using the Zoom app now. I wouldn't be able to see any comments without it. So, well, Guilio, if that's how you say your name, the lens is perfectly focused on this end. So, I mean, I'm not having a problem with what I'm seeing. But then again, I don't have the fastest connection here out in the middle of the desert. So, we're on Wi-Fi wireless. That's all that's available out here. Well, I mean, you could use satellite, but that's a joke, so I wouldn't do that. But and that's not much. I think satellite's not much better than dial-up. Yeah, they are. They're beautiful. Aren't you, Bob? Are you beautiful? No, I'm handsome. No, are you handsome? Are you? He is such a goal-oriented bird. I've got to make all the nest I can, right, Bob? Yep. And then, of course, there's the sleeping birds. And as soon as I stop the meeting, once the meeting's over, well, they'll all start doing something. The other thing is, when Bob's in here, they tend to stay away from him because he's just so territorial about my lap. Aren't you, Bob? No. So you can see it. 103 is the high for today. It says 96 on there, but when I looked just before I came in, it was 99. So once fall comes around, late fall probably, we'll be out in the aviary again. Yeah, once Bob has had his circuit here and he goes into the temporary cage over there, he doesn't seem to mind that much as long as he's been out for at least an hour playing. He plays in there, but then they'll come over and get my lap. Right now, they're gonna stay up there and rest until he's out of my lap. Although he did preen Lucy yesterday, and he didn't have a problem with her being on my lap. Well, he kept looking at her, but he didn't try to attack her. Hi, Spirit Matter. What? What's that foot out for? You grabbing my arm? Sorry, Bob. You grabbing my arm? Were you grabbing my arm? Huh? You were? Hello, Jocelyn. Hey, Spirit Matter. Cecil says hey. Actually, he'd probably attack a bale of hay and turn it into a big pile on the floor, knowing this guy. Bob, you leave what's in my pocket alone. I gotta zip up my pocket or he's gonna get that. Go after. You quit going after my AirPods, okay? Stop it. You're a little pest. Leave that alone. Yeah, there'll be a exodus as soon as Bob's out of my lap. Okay. You're gonna preen my arm? Okay. All right. See, Bob always has to get into the act when he sees somebody else doing something. Now that Cecil's not doing my arm anymore, he'll go back to what he was doing. No, he's just preening the hairs on my arm. Not biting, just preening my hair on the arm. It's a new behavior for him, but sea salt. Babaloo, what are you doing down there? Snowball? Snowball. Well, I thought I'd talk a little bit today about so-called natural cures for things and parrots. You have to be careful with that, and you have to be sure to talk to your veterinarian, your avian vet. And if you don't have one, there's got to be one somewhere that you can talk to on the phone and pay them a fee to get an answer. So I know Dr. Jenkins does that. There's other doctors that do that phone consultations too. So don't put any creams on your bird. Um, don't put, like people will say they put aloe vera on. Don't put anything on their skin unless it's approved by a veterinarian. And there's a reason for that because they only have 3 layers of skin, and in some places it's only 3 cells deep. And so it's going to go into their bloodstream, and so it's important not to do that. And then some of these so-called natural things, milk thistle is one you hear all the time. They'll self-diagnose that there's a liver issue, and they'll say use milk thistle, but you don't know that it's milk thistle in there. Especially in the United States, in 1933, they passed a law where all they have to do is put a note on the bottle saying that it's not recommended for curing any disease, and it hasn't been examined by the Food and Drug Administration, and they're done. They can, and then they, quite often, they have things on the bottle you don't want. Um, I was reading one, the New York uh, attorney was the New York attorney was that's the general attorney's office. I can't think of what the name is right now. I had to spray for ants today, so my brain's a little fogged. But they had taken a bunch of these things and examined what was in the bottles and using gas spectrometry, and they found things like rhubarb. They found that in milk thistle. Rhubarb will, if in a high enough dose, will kill your parrot. So if you buy a bottle of supposedly milk thistle, you might be buying poison for your bird. You don't know what they have in there. And what it says on the label doesn't mean that's what's in the bottle. So they've also found things that were like ephedrine based that make you feel a little better, right? It lifts up your, because it's ephedrine, it's a stimulant. So they found actual stimulants in these things to try to make people like the medicine more. And yeah, I know. But I had to do it because I've lived with when the ants take over the house and they get into all the food bowls and that. And I tried all the natural things. I had Argentine ants at Hill House, and those ants, they crawl under things. If you have like this on the floor, if you lay something like that, or you have another carpet sitting on carpet, they'll make their nests under it. They're really incredible. But I tried the boric acid. No, that doesn't work. Um, if it's strong, if you mix it with sugar, if it's strong enough to kill them, they won't drink it. If it's too weak, they drink it. Um, they won't. With the stuff I use, they won't eat any ants, and the ants were in the kitchen. But they won't eat any ants because once I put that stuff out, the ants will be gone, and I won't see any more ants for at least a year. Um, Yeah, I tried peppermint. I tried all the natural stuff. If you try that with Argentine ants, you're probably going to find that most of those things don't work, but I would much rather do something natural. But I fought for 2 years at Hill House and finally just had to start looking into chemicals to get rid of them. But now, if I could come up with something else, I would. This is a different type of ant. It's a black ant. It's about twice the size of an Argentine. They're not huge, but they're bigger. Um, so if there's something else, I'll definitely do it. But can't take a chance on having them get into the food bowls because there's 12 food bowls, right? So, and they'll spread all over the house. I've had that. I won't have it again. So, Argentine ants are they're wood ants. Okay, they live in trees, and houses are built of wood, so they like to move into your house and live in the walls. Um, they like to burrow, and like I said, they like to burrow. If you can't have a carpet on top of a carpet, they'll just make a nest under it. I could not believe there were actual nests under my carpets. Um, they are probably the ant that's going to take over. Even though they're a small ant, they can actually kill weaver ants. Weaver ants are, they're in Africa, but so are the Argentine ants. And these things, weavers are terrible. If you get up in a tree where there's weaver ants, they won't leave you alone. I mean, they'll come after you and try to eat you. So they're one of the most militaristic of all the ants. And they're tough to kill. After every other ant is off the planet, they'll probably be the ones that are left. Maybe the amber crazy ant is worse, but they're not here yet. I understand we have them in the East Coast, southeast. You don't want those in your home, and you won't be putting out. You won't be putting out something to break their trails because they don't have any. Amber crazy ants don't make a trail. They come into a building and they go everywhere. And then their nests are made up of their bodies, so they don't actually nest in anything. They're just like this big, moving, living thing. It's bizarre. But yeah, so I try not to do this, but when they finally get in the house, I have to. They won't be any, that colony of ants will be gone tomorrow. That stuff is effective, but it's actually rated for termites, but that's, you don't have to worry about that here. But yeah, they are. I don't ever want to see them in person. Apparently, there's only one pesticide you can use on them. It's the one I use. But um, Bob, you're a mess again. Didn't I just clean you up? Silly boy. Hi, Bob. Hi, Bob. Hi, sweetie. Hmm. Do you want to come back over here? You don't have to. You can go when you want. Aw, thank you, Bob. That was horrific when I had to deal with that problem. I mean, they were everywhere, and everything I tried didn't work. I mean, I went so far as to like mixing different um, dilutions of boric acid and sugar, and tried everything from high concentration to medium concentrations down to like it didn't work. They figure it out eventually. And the other thing is with that type of ant, if you've got any trees touching your building, you're in trouble because they'll climb. They're tree ants, so they go up on the tree. They go from the tree off to the limb and then down onto your house. I don't have that problem here, but I did there, and I had to spray around the trees. It was just awful. And there were quite a few trees there too. I had to spray around the base of every tree. Just really not what you want to do. If they'd come in by the hundreds of thousands. But back to the natural foods and things. I don't know what to say about resolution. This is just YouTube. It's their app. I could use Zoom, but the problem with Zoom is, which gives us better resolution, is that I can't see what you're saying. So yeah, the only way to see what you're saying is to have a time lag. So I'll be talking and hear myself. Ugh. Oh, they're calm most of the, well, I won't say most of the time. They're usually busy in one way or another. But right now, she's not asking me to pet her. When I'm holding the phone, um, well, that doesn't work terribly well. It's telling me there's a message uh, that's for review, but I can't look at it. So you have to wonder, who coded this stuff. Yeah, if I have to do another, I'll look into something else to be able to do YouTube directly because obviously they're giving us the lowest resolution here. So I'm seeing fine resolution on this end, but what are you up to? Babaloo. Yeah, and there are sprays that they have that they say that I'm not going to name the brand, but there are some sprays that say that will stop a bird from picking. Water will do the same thing. So, and those are homeopathic, and homeopathic doesn't work. Okay, it's pre-scientific. It has nothing to do with science, and it actually has nothing in it but water. So they may add other things in there, but whatever the homeopathic element is, you can't even see it on an electron microscope. It's that ridiculous. So don't waste your money on that stuff. Bob, Bob, big boy, big boy. Bob, well, he's slow to do things that are new. He has a couple in his cage. Cecil chewed him up. Cecil likes them. I take them and put them in one of these. They're like a little nest that's made out of that kind of material. I know you can't see it. Um, it's just part of a palm leaf, basically. They make these little balls out of not the leaf, but the palm stem. And so I put him inside there, and then he tears that apart, and then he eats the ball. He chews them up pretty well. It's amazing how strong they are. They seem like, a sphere would be difficult for them, but nope, not so much. They find the weakest point and then break it. But they're getting used to them. He's the one that's playing the most with them. It's Mr. Cecil here. What are you doing? What are you two doing? You gonna preen him? Okay. KK's busy over by the window, and then these are the only other two birds that are showing any signs of being busy. Yes, they did. Thank you so much. Yeah, the little spools they like, I put those on the hanging toys, or I put them on some of their foot toys, and you will see Cecil and KK walking around with those little spools. They like them. And as I said, he's the one that's gotten used to the balls right away. He's enjoying the hardwood balls. Of course, he seems kind of a ball freak. I mean, he likes his plastic balls. He likes anything that's round. He can sink his beak into. Well, it was nice of you to send them. They're having fun with it. I use everything to make toys. So if I've got extra pieces of wood, I can put on there, and then with those little, they're like a little basket in a way, but they have a really tight opening, and you can stuff one of those balls in there, and then he shakes it around for a while, then he tears it apart. Babaloo moves them, but he hasn't started breaking them yet. He probably will when he watches Cecil and he figures out what Cecil's doing with them. Won't you, Bob? Yeah, their skin is amazing when you really start studying it. Look into the veterinary manuals and see how. I mean, it has a lot of great qualities as far as how it managed. The skin moves their feathers around and the musculature under it, how it does all that. And the only issue is that it doesn't work well when you put anything on it. The creams we have and stuff like that that are supposed to help our skin do not help their skin. So can't put paraffins, any kind of wax on their skin. There's a whole list of things, but I use a Silverdene, but it's specifically veterinary approved. So Dr. Young is the one that that supplies that to us still, but because you have to be careful what's in there, what the secondary ingredients are. Yeah, the crest. Well, the thing about the crest is there's only one bone that moves the crest. So they literally just move a single bone in order to raise their crest. That's one of the areas where they can't move the feathers around, but the rest of their body, they can move the feathers. With their crest, they can just lift them, raise them, or lower them with a single bone. But of course, they can raise it to different levels. So, hi, Cecil. Yeah, there's a Cecil. That's a side of Cecil you don't get to see too often, but I get to see it. But usually when I'm holding the phone, he's not too interested in putting his head back and relaxing like this. Yeah, they're different. I mean, compared to the true parrots too, they have a uropygial gland right back here above the tail, right about there on him, where his uropygial is, and he can rub that and get a tiny bit of oil out of it. He doesn't not going to end up smelling like an Amazon. They get so much oil on their feathers, they smell like they're covered in patchouli oil. But instead of that, they have the feather dust that comes off the semi plumes. So the feather dust comes from right here. And they're called a semi-plume because half of it is like a regular feather, and the other half is just these little areas. Well, just this almost looks like a down feather. So that's where those little bits of dust come from. Little bits of dust. Yeah, lots of dust. Lots of dust. Jocelyn, be careful. If they take you pictures of you sleeping with your bird, you might end up in court. Just kidding, of course. Um, Down, yeah. Well, the down feathers are just, those are the ones that are closest to the body. And I don't know why they call them down feathers because they tend to blow up into the air, but it's just, it seems like a silly name for them. But it's the one that's the intermediate feather, the one that has what looks like down at the base, but a regular feather, has the regular feathering at the top. Those are the ones that produce most of the powder down. Should be called powder glue. It sticks to everything. Yeah, the down feathers are always floating up and running away from you. That's true. When you're vacuuming, especially, and the birds are taking a bath. Oh, what in the world does that? I don't know. You vacuum and they start taking baths. Does it sound like a rushing fountain, like you're under a waterfall? Yeah, that's the danger with. Of course, the way to get around that is to sleep in a chair. If you want to snooze with a bird, sleep in a chair. I do that with Kazi. I only have so many hours in the day, but Kaz is getting better about being in the room with the other birds, but she's highly territorial right now. Um, Once that calms down, then I won't have to do this, but I'll take a nap with her to get my nap in. Without the caffeine, I have to take naps now. There's no way around it. But that was the advice I was given. Drop the caffeine. So, yeah. It's it's funny how they do that. The sound has to be something like a waterfall to them. I don't know. What do you know? Do you know down there, KK? Oh, if you're sitting on a couch or in a chair, it's okay. As long as you don't fall over on the bird, which I'm sitting in a chair when I take a nap with Cosy, and she'll get right down here and make smaller toothpicks out of those toothpicks. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's just a hypothesis. Oh yeah, it's common, Aaron. I mean, I never know who's going to do it. 9 times out of 10, well, I should say more like 8 out of 10. This guy will take a bath. Lorelei takes a bath most times, and then Snowball will do it. So sometimes I'll have 5 or 6 birds do it. So obvious that time the vacuuming too before I change the water. And right now I'm still trying to get them to use the Lixit bottles. I'm sure if I took their regular water away from them, which I can't make myself do, and just kept showing them that the water was in there, but I can't do it. So I'm doing it the slow way, which is take the bottle and get them on a perch, take the bottle, get the bottle up to their beak, tap it, get a little water out, try to get them to drink it. That's what I'm doing right now. So, and they still get their regular water bowls, which they take their baths in. So I don't like them drinking water that has powder down all over it. And it's not so bad now that we have this big humidifier, but it still gets in there. It's mostly their own powder down that gets in their water now. Before it was all up in the air, so it was everybody's powder down getting in there. I'll lift my leg up, Bob. There you go. Yeah, I just can't make myself try the easy way, which is just take their water. And then, I say easy, it means taking their water out and spending an hour or two in the room, just going around and showing each of them one after the other. There's water in here. So, yeah, he could use a bidet. Poor Bob. Poor Bob. Poor boy. Yeah, it was bad when I got here. It just didn't dawn on me that because there was no moisture in the air, that the powder down was going to stay in the air. And then that poster I have, which is black with white lettering and a picture of Steve Jobs over Pippa's cage, it was turning white in just overnight. It was just covered in dust. And so the vet who came from California said, you need to get a humidifier, but he hadn't heard of any humidifier that would handle a big place like this. And it works. It's a good one. So. Yeah, African grays have powder down. It's not a lot, compared to one of these guys, but it's there. Bob, I did a lot of cleaning in here yesterday, so you can probably hear the raspy throat as I stirred up all the dust. I've got one more of these rugs coming because they worked out. So I'm going to put one more rug over there. And that's about all the rugs that would work. And I'll just keep using these canvas tarps to. Actually, these are paint drop canvas. So for the little areas, the areas in between, just fold them up. Bob, you having fun with that? Babaloo, babaloo, babaloo. Yeah, they're supposed to be washable, but you know how that goes. I'm going to spot clean them. I have Folex and that kind of thing to clean them with. So, but I can wash them once every 6 months or something. Yeah, they are washable, and they were $16 for a 6 foot by 2 foot. So that's not bad. Every time you turn around, there's something else you need. But this room was just too. It was too cluttered. So I rearranged the perches so that it's not so cluttered. I have to pull things away from the closets. I keep the vacuum cleaners in the closets and some of the overstock items, but I think it looks better and it's easier to clean. The main thing is cleanliness. So then I just dump the toys in the middle. So if KK wants one, he can go get it. If Bob wants one, he can sneak over there and go get it. He will sneak though because he's such a super chicken. Yeah, the price was definitely right. They had different ones of different colors, and I don't think most people like that mixed color or something. Yeah, they like fountains. I've thought about making a fountain that was battery powered that would, when they walked up to it, put some of those sensors that they have on the faucets. So when they come up to drink, the fountain comes on. If I had time, I could design. I mean, it wouldn't be hard to design. I probably could get the sensors for free from someone like Simmons or Moen or one of those companies if I just begged. They used to work in the industry. Yeah, the little peach. Bob, are you having fun? You're getting awfully close to that zipper. That's what you're really trying to do, isn't it? Hmm? Don't get in the pocket. The zippers are to keep Bob out. They are to keep Bob out. In that case. Well, you are a nutcase. You're a good boy, but you're a nutcase. Yeah, it wouldn't be too hard to make that fountain. And since I have connections in the plumbing industry from way back, I just need to call the rep and say, look, I just need a couple of sensors off of like defective faucets or whatever. And they do have the battery operated ones, so I can get the 12-volt version. I have a great idea for bird bowls too. Are you going to eat my arm or what? Just ran its beak all the way up and down my arm. Silly. Silly. Did you want my attention? Is that what you want? Huh? Yeah, as soon as I stop petting him, you stop preening. Mm-hmm. Bob, you're so obvious. You know, the unique idea for food bowls, and I've actually tested it out, and it works. I mean, Cecil couldn't take it off, but I could pop it right off. So I have a good idea, but you know, the whole patent process take a lot of work to get that done. Just to get the patent pending, and then find somebody to buy the idea. And, yeah, I don't have time. But a fountain would be a good thing to make. I kind of like inventing things. Yeah, that little Peach. She would have loved it here. She could have run around the floor and owned the place. Would have been her kind of spot. A little turtle, cockatoo turtle. Oh, you're gonna put your head on me now. It sure does, Aaron. Sure does. Hmm. Yeah, she did make it happen. That little Peach. Don't even know what Shark Tank is, to tell you the truth. If it's a TV show, I wouldn't know it. Um, if it's a podcast, I haven't heard of it. The only TV shows I know are now because I don't know what Shark. I don't know what it is either. GTH, I have no clue. I know a lot of the new. I mean, Odyssey and Rockfin. These are all video platforms. Odyssey, Rockfin, Home, um, Bitstream. What is it? I can't get something or other. There's so many of those different platforms, and a lot of them you can broadcast multiple to and with a high resolution. So I got to look into a high resolution if I'm going to be doing it this way for a while. So, oh, okay, gotcha. Thank you, Spirit Man. The thing is that people don't realize how many birds there are in this country. You um, so they don't think there's a market. I remember when Rio came out, we had a board member in New Jersey who called all the TV stations at 4 o'clock in the morning because that's when they're setting the day, and we got to talk to everybody but one channel, Channel 10 in San Diego. Their response was, "We only want cuddly animals, and birds aren't cuddly." Um, but we did get three TV stations to come out and talk about how bad the movie Rio was, because giving birds chocolate, feeding them from your mouth. I mean, you have to be an idiot to make that kind of a video when that could kill a bird, right? Rumble, yeah, I've got Rumble too. I mean, I have a lot of things that I watch on those channels. Telegram, Twitter's now got video too, so. Well, folks, I'll try to have a better app to get better resolution next time. And thanks for being here. And thank you, Amy, for being here. I don't know if Eleanor made it because I can't see everything that well. I don't think she made it today. No, doesn't look like it, but she's usually here to help. So get well. Um, yeah. Well, the other thing, too, if you watch Rio, the birds have three toes, right? I've never seen a three-toed parrot that didn't have one of their toes, amputated by something. Um, Although KK is like that, he's got three toes on each foot. He's missing a toe, and his inner uh, back toe is missing on both sides. Who knows what happened to him, but he does okay for a bird that's missing one of their toes. Yeah. Thanks everybody for being here. I'm gonna see if I can't spark these guys. Hi, Lucy. You're about ready to come down? Okay. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the suggestions, and you have a good one, huh? Hi, Aaron. Bye, Falcon Sue. Bye, Jocelyn. And GTH, thanks for your comments today. Quite helpful. And everybody else that I didn't mention, that's just because I don't have much of a memory. Say it, Bob. He doesn't remember things too well, does he? He don't remember things. Well, he remembers us anyway. You guys have a great day, and we'll talk at you later.